with any master's program, the main advantage is that it pushes you up to a higher entry level when you're going into a program, when you're going into a job. And once you're in at that higher level, you advance more quickly. So you're on a steeper career path. And that's particularly true for economics and financial services jobs. So for example, so there isn't great data available for Ireland, but we know that for the UK, somebody with a master's degree, a guy with a master's degree gets a nearly 9% increase in annual earnings. And for a woman, that's nearly 19%. So these are really big, over, your whole career, that adds up to a big benefit of doing a master's in the kind of economics discipline. So that's one thing. It's not just about the money though, it's also that you get to do more interesting work. So, in a lot of graduate jobs, you go in and there's kind of an element of doing a bit of drudge work for a year or two at the beginning of the job. That's you skip through that faster, so that makes it more interesting. And then of course there are some jobs that you just can't do without a master's. So particularly a lot of our graduates become professional economists. If you want to be a professional economist, you need a master's. You can't go in as a professional economist otherwise. And there are loads of jobs available for professional economists in Ireland, not least because the civil service is ramping up its demand for economists within the civil service. And actually they find it really hard to get enough qualified people for those jobs. So they're both, the benefits are both financial and in terms of the kind of job you can do. We have very flexible entries, so actually almost anybody can apply. So let me explain. So we have one-year programs, and they're direct entry into our master's programs, and those master's programs are of a very high standard, quite technically demanding. So for those programs, you need to have a background in economics or in finance. Or a degree with a lot of those modules and those components in them. And you need to have a good degree, you need to have a 2-1. Okay, so they're kind of very high standard entry. But we also have 2-year programs, and the idea of the 2-year programs is that the first year acts as a conversion course from another discipline into economics. And for the 2-year programs, practically any graduate can apply. So we have had graduates from philosophy, from English, history, and of course plenty of graduates from business who have discovered that the bit of business that they like most is the economics and that they want to take that further. And so we have people coming in through the 2-year programs every year and doing really well in them actually. So there's a lot of flexibility. Of course, doing a 2-year program is a bigger commitment than doing a 1-year program, but that flexibility is there. A lot of our graduates, you won't be surprised to hear, go into financial services. The financial services industry is a very big source of jobs for our graduates because it's such a big and growing industry. And so a lot of our graduates go into financial services, they end up in the IFSC, or they go to London or Frankfurt or some of the big financial services centres. A lot of our graduates go into become professional economists, so they work as economists. We have lots of graduates in the Central Bank, in the Economic and Social Research Institute, in the Central Statistics Office, and in the civil service working as professional economists it's called IGS, the Irish Government Economic and Evaluation Service. So they would be kind of big public sector placements for our graduates. And then a lot of our graduates go into big companies that have economics components to their jobs. For example, IKEA now has an economist. Some of the big companies are realizing that they need people who can analyze markets and do data analytics, and our graduates are trained for those jobs as well. So there's a lot of career options ranging from the public sector to the private sector that provide really good, stable, interesting, well-paid work.